August 26, 2013. Jill, call the roll, please.
Mr. Matthews.
Here.
Mr. Moffett.
Here.
Mr. Poe.
Here.
The minutes were prepared for us from our regular trustees meeting dated August 13, 2013. Either of you have any changes or corrections?
I have none.
Those will stand approved as prepared and presented for us. Public speaks. Anyone have anything before we move through our agenda items? All right. Road Department, Ed?
Mike?
Request a purchase order to Shelley's in the amount of $2,000 for stone for the road department, just to stockpile up out at the garage to have on hand.
So moved.
Second.
Yes. Request approval for a supplemental transfer in the amount of $250 from 2031-330-59-00 other utilities to 2031-330-34100 telephone to cover increased telephone costs.
So moved.
Second.
Yes. Request purchase order to AT&T in the amount of $350 for telephone service.
So moved.
Second.
Yes. And that's all I have,
You're gonna start chip and seal probably tomorrow.
hopefully.
Finish it this week if the weather holds out.
Yeah.
And the paving's done.
Yep.
Road program's gonna be
Just got striping yet.
pretty well wiped out then.
Yep.
So you're gonna stop and see Scott Miller
Yeah.
and pick up his $400 check. That's his share of the driveway over at Station 2.
Oh, that's good.
Rick, Mike, do you have anything?
Now, if you worked on the driveway, have you been over there yet? I haven't been by Station 2.
No, not that I know of.
I just wondered, do we
Jim?
want to kind of spruce that up before we have a meeting over there?
Okay.
I know you're busy. I just need you to stick around for an executive session on some personnel issues, okay?
Okay.
Be about 10 minutes after our meeting. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
All right. Mike, we'll move on with the items under the fire department.
All right, Chief's not here, and we have a request for a purchase order to Warren Fire Equipment in the amount of $1,600 for SCBA recertification. I'll make that a motion.
Second.
Yes.
And we have a request for a purchase order to Moore Medical in the amount of $175 for an AED battery, and I also make that a motion.
Second.
Yes.
And that's all we have fire-related. Do you have anything?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Okay, we'll move on to the zoning items. Linda, when you're ready, we'll start with item 1.
Did you gentlemen have a chance to go out and look at that?
I did.
I did.
Did you think there was,
I thought there was a lot of improvement
okay.
from what it
Yeah,
was.
significant improvement if they just go the next step
Well,
and be
her
better.
son, I did speak to her son, and he said that he was going to help her continue with it, so it's your call. Jim?
Well, it's not unlike Beeson and some others. These are gray areas. They're not fine line distinctions. What's a nuisance, not a nuisance. But I think we at least ought to collectively have an idea of what we want done, and then we can objectively say
Okay.
it's done. So what do we want done?
Gentlemen?
I don't know that we need to decide it today. It's
Oh.
just,
Maybe we should go out there, talk to her.
Together,
and look
maybe?
at it, yeah.
Okay.
Or a couple of us, maybe.
Okay, yeah, that would be great, just to see what she is, you know.
She's made it, it's definitely an improvement. And I had, after seeing her at the meeting, I realized it's quite an effort, but not that we, don't need to do it, I don't do that.
no, and the Beeson is the same predicament. That they've made some progress, I guess, on Beeson.
And he's made quite a bit since the last meeting we had, not with the cars, but at least with the junk. So, but I think he needs a drop dead day.
Well, he has it.
Yeah,
He just may not realize he has it.
okay,
7 days have passed since the nuisance resolution. There's no agreement, right?
right. Well, he just has agreed to continue cleaning. you know, and removing.
That's his agreement.
Right.
It's a unilateral expression of what he's going to do. He hasn't approached us and said, by X, I will move this, 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 and this. And it means remove, not move.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
take the
off the
junk pile
property.
here and move the junk pile over to here. So I just think that we can use these two examples for experience sake to try and become a little more objective on these. And if they're not done, then just clean them up. I mean, just, you know,
Okay.
it's been so long with, Greenbauer's not as bad, but these things.
I think at our next meeting, which is after Labor Day, if Beeson isn't finished and ordered cleaned up, I'm comfortable with that, if you guys are.
Yeah, because we're just working on the debris, the pile of debris. at this
Right.
point. Piles. Well, how do you want to handle Greenbauer then? You want to identify the areas that we want cleaned up? How do you want to do that again, so it's objective and it's not just clean up?
Well, I would agree with Mike for the two, he and Ed to go
Maybe Ed and
out.
I could go out with Linda. I mean, I only say that because I know they're really busy. And take
List
a look at it. and
List
maybe,
what they want done
Talk
and-
to her.
Sounds good.
I think the main thing is really is the appearance when people drive by there. That's my opinion. But there's not just piles of stuff. It does look better. We could try to do that before we have our next meeting and then talk about it again.
That's fine. Can you get some record of it, what we're doing?
Well,
Photographs?
I'll take photographs and I'll make notes of everything they agree on, have her sign it, and have the trustee sign it.
Maybe a little plaque from an aerial photo or something.
Okay,
So that
sure.
so there's just clarity when we do these. If we objectively mark on a map, this pile of whatever it is needs to be gone by X, and it's still there, then we know what we're going to do.
Okay, sure.
And if it's gone and was moved, then we know we're all right. That way, if we're satisfied, we can ultimately just clear these and then they're done. Until the next time.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, and you have your updates on the mowing list?
Yes, the only ones that I think really need to be addressed is the 14601 Gaskell Drive. I think it needs one more mow this year. That's the second one down. And then Kyle Knight, which is 11535 Walnut, I had sent him, you declared it a nuisance, I had sent him the registered letters. He called in, said he would have it done by X date, that was 2 weeks ago. There's maybe been like a foot and a half in the front weed whack, nothing else. So I would like to go ahead and mow that one.
Which one was that?
That Kyle Knife next to the last one on the list, 11535 Walnut.
Have all the other ones that have been mowed, the cost been certified and all that, or are we waiting?
Jill
to do it
has
once?
them, I don't know if he's,
We just do that at once?
Yeah, so I'm ready for the next meeting.
That's fine.
yeah,
Is
We're
this
not
pro-
doing them anymore, that's,
right. That's the one.
Is that vacant property?
Yes, it's an empty house, has been for a long time.
they both already declared?
Yes,
Okay.
I get that.
Well, that's,
I understand.
I just want to go get those mowed and then we'll have,
Yeah.
all right. That's fine, since they've already been declared, just arrange to have both mowed.
Okay.
And then we'll get all the costs together at once to certify to the owner.
And the third item, Jim, I had emailed you that packet. There was $400,000 in non-matching funds for demo. I was talking to the girl at Regional Planning who's handling something else for me, and she said, didn't you have anything for the demo? And I said, well, yeah, I thought we did. And somehow, I think it got messed up in their office, I won't say one way or the other. But because there were many properties that are not going to be going through, she asked me if we had anything. And I said we had 3 that could possibly, and I would let Jim and the trustees make the decision. But since the deadline is September 6th, I spoke to Ken, he called me Friday. He said if in fact we wanted to, he could get the title work done. That's going to be your call, Jim, as to whether you want to.
Well, we need a pretty good record on what these are.
Now, the one over by the trucking company,
That's in there.
that's in there.
Yes, sir.
I thought that was all set for demo.
Yeah. Because we didn't, something happened with the program that we didn't get on.
If we can, that's the only one I know that if we do, that we ought to do that one.
Well, the one on Johnson where it dead ends, that house has been broken into. They've stolen all the heating, the plumbing, they've knocked down walls. The one at the dead end next to those apartments, yeah. And we've had, now, if we put these in, the county will send their inspector out and see if he agrees with our determination for removal.
That's a good thing.
So,
It's
you
like
know, but it's a matter of if we want to get this on the program, get everything in by September 6th to get the non-matching funds.
And what do they need by September 6th?
What we have there, your declaration for it to be removed, the letter from the fire chief, and title work from Ken. I did tell Ken that what we were looking at, he said if it is approved, then he could get the title work done. The one on solar has been sitting empty since 2008. We've been mowing it. And it,
Well, let's start with then one.
Okay.
This is 11491 solar.
yes.
And generally, what's the status of the property?
The property has been abandoned since, I believe, 2008 or 9. We have mowed it. The bank is somewhere out of state. They won't even respond. The owners have long since moved away. Looking in the windows, you can see that there is like there must be roofing problems because there's some ceiling problems. It's probably not a salvageable house. But I've not been inside. That's where the inspector from the county would.
Is the back taxes are
Yes, that's all on the sheet that I gave Jim. There's back taxes, there's back water, there's back sewer.
Virtually no ownership, there's no ownership.
No, it's still in the name of the people that have left. The bank filed foreclosure but never followed through.
We notify these people if this was going to be pulling out.
There's no way to notify them. Nobody has any idea where they are. Anything we've mailed to the actual physical owner of record has come back undeliverable.
The county inspector will look at these as well.
Yes.
Who is the county? I mean, is it the building?
I believe they have a separate inspector that's going to do this through that program. I don't know for sure. There's a girl in regional planning, Sue, is it Butcher? Jane, was that her name, Sue Butcher?
Well, this just give rise to a lot of questions. We've never done, I don't think that we've done any of these without getting a court order first, okay? And you know why.
and then we paid it. The one we've got a quarter, then we paid it, put it on the taxes now.
Correct.
This is the new program through the county where they're going to do it. All they want from us is the,
Well, but they do what? They just reimburse you for the rearrange, the demo, the whole bit? Is that the bid?
that was my last understanding speaking to her this week, that they handle the demo. We have to turn in the ones we would like to be on the program, and they go from there.
Is there a court order through the county
No,
or?
no. or they won't do that. There, we don't need to spend forever on this, but this statute, 50586, allows us to start these procedures to deal with the demolition of a property. The statute's been in effect for a long time, but for whatever reason, the times that the cases have there's been any court challenge over the procedural aspects of the statute, the courts have never really reached any due process issues, okay?
This is the form that the county had sent that they used to declare.
If you're dealing with a cleanup, something that is less onerous, if you will, than outright ripping a building down, I'm perfectly comfortable from a due process standpoint proceeding with the procedures under the statute. I have never been satisfied proceeding with a demo without getting a court order. And it's really just to protect us.
Sure,
I
absolutely.
think it sounds like a good idea.
It's not like it costs $10,000 or something to get a court order. It's just an extra measure of due process to avoid somebody coming back and saying, hey, we'll come out here for one of our meetings and somebody will show up. Hey, I stopped by to clean up my house the other day and I saw you guys tore it down. Nobody wants to be in that weird predicament.
You see all that publicity in Akron, Cleveland, where they're going to tear these guys' house down and he's...
I think we ought to continue that process. It ought to be a parallel process, okay?
Okay.
I don't think it has anything to do with criteria that they're going to look at the county for funding purposes and arranging their demo people. As long as we make sure that we coordinate from a timing perspective, that we don't have them rush in and demo before we get...
Well, they're saying 6 to 8 months on the demo.
We're fine then.
Okay.
So
This-
we'd actually, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. This is just to get it on their program, to get them to pay for it rather than the
That's the
township.
key. That's the key. So the only cost we'll have that would go on the taxes, this would be much better than some of those others that are more expensive, will only be Ken's cost.
Right.
So we're gonna just go ahead and get our court order and proceed as we have.
So
Yes,
I'm willing to do that as long as we keep that process going.
that's fine.
Sounds like a good idea.
Like I say, I didn't realize that we had, or that we had missed what needed to be done. Because we had asked to get into the program where they were going to rehab some of the houses, because we do have some that, could be rehabbed. But they have demo funds.
This is
and-
demo work.
Yeah, and I didn't want to lose the free money if we could, qualify for it.
All right, the first one we're going to deal with then is 11491 Solar, parcel 2900212, based upon the certification from the fire chief indicating that the condition of the property is insecure, unsafe, and structurally defective, and based upon the indication of the zoning inspector that the property's been abandoned for quite some time and not maintained. I'll move under 50586 that the property be declared a nuisance and that notice be provided to the extent it can be to the owners and lien holders that they're obligated to provide for the removal of the building or structures within 30 days, and if not, then we'll proceed with same. And when you provide these notices, take out repair or securance, okay?
Yes, sir.
So there's a motion on that one.
Second.
Yes.
We just need to get, that was the one, I used the one that you had prepared previously.
They just kind of shortened it. That's all right.
I felt more comfortable with your form.
Now tell us a little bit about then the Johnson Avenue.
Johnson Avenue is an older two-story that built in 1925, was abandoned by, well, it was foreclosed on by the mortgage company. People moved away. There is a small IRS lien on that one, But the mortgage company put a cancellation of their lien, they put a lien release in for $79,000. They don't want anything to do with the property. It's been broken into several times, and best we can tell, all the heating, plumbing, everything has been ripped out of it. And we have been mowing it at least 3 years.
Do they try to sell these properties? Because nobody's actually taking any kind of control over them or anything.
We've tried talking to the owner, telling him, that we even notified him when the mortgage company canceled the lien. In fact, between Jamie and I thank her for all the help I get on these, we had one family that, when we notified them, they kept saying, oh no, the bank took it back. We had to explain to them that that hadn't happened, that the lien had been canceled. They've moved back in, they've made it a really nice property again. So, we're trying everything we know how to do to get people.
Well, it's a similar situation in light of the certification by the fire chief that the property at 11460 Johnson is insecure, unsafe, and structurally defective, and the indication by the zoning inspector that the property's been abandoned for quite some time. I'll move under 50586 that we order the property to be removed, and if it's not removed within 30 days from notice, then we'll proceed with the demolition of the property.
Second.
Yes.
Last one, Linda, what are we looking at here? 14766 Northland.
That is about a half a block off of Rock Hill. The house has been broken into, the windows are all shattered. It looks like somebody started to demo it and didn't. It's been broken into several times. Ed's witnessed that property several times. It's the driveway next to Mac Trailer. If you're going, which one I mean?
know the property.
Okay.
All right.
There's no way to rehab that property. There's no water and sewer to it, there's no basement, there's no...
Okay, we have certification on that to the 14766 Northland Street from the fire chief, required by the statute that the property is insecure, unsafe, and structurally defective. Based upon that certification and the record developed from the zoning inspector, I move that we declare the property a nuisance, insecure, unsafe, and structurally defective, providing for notice that the property building structure be removed. If it's not removed within 30 days, we'll proceed to do so.
Second.
Now, having said all of that, I'll also move that we submit those certifications as resolutions to Ken Cardinal for the title work, and also to proceed in Alliance Municipal Court for a court order allowing us to proceed with the demos.
Second.
Yes.
And in addition, I'll move then that Linda coordinates submitting the required paperwork to the county for consideration on the, Clean Ohio? Or
Yes. It's all here.
That's all right.
Yeah, it is.
The
I believe, there it is, Moving Ohio Forward Grant Program.
consideration for funding of the demolition work through the Move Ohio Forward Grant Program. And just whatever paperwork they need from what we've certified, the title work and such, when Ken's done, you can handle submitting all of that, okay?
I had already faxed everything to Ken at his request, so he would have it if we were to act on this morning.
All right, and that's a motion to allow her to proceed in that fashion. There we go. Anything else, Linda?
No, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Linda.
Appreciate it, Bill.
No problem. There's nothing under legal advisors, so we'll proceed with a few general township items. Stark County Township Association meeting for October will be here at Lexington Township.
That's a normal meeting we host it every year. We have requests on speakers, we have two people that have said they would be available, Kirk Shearing and
Mr. Moffett. It's John Thorpe.
I thought we had,
Yeah,
Dean?
John Thorpe at Road Solutions
okay.
is willing to talk to.
Which one would we want?
John Thorpe also said he could talk at the meeting that we're holding at the road department the end of October too, so we could use him for either one.
I don't know. We've lined up Nancy Porter. Has Nancy agreed to do that?
Yeah, she said let her know the details and she marked it down, so.
And we've lined up, we're working on lining up sponsors for that. I think we have 2.5 sponsors now, but I'm not sure about how we're gonna do that.
Did you hear back from John? No, not yet. He's trying to get John to sponsor some of it too.
But Mr. Matthews usually sponsors one,
Not to put any pressure on
but
you.
we're trying to get him, see what, if we have 2.5 sponsors, I'm sure you do the other half.
Yeah, I think we can work something out there.
But it's not till October, so we don't have a deadline on it. But which speaker would be the best?
Yeah.
You're more familiar with, I've heard Kirk several times.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever heard Thor.
Kirk is out, so made himself available for either September or October. And so they're not October, November maybe, so he wants to take any other township.
Yeah.
But if Thorpe will-
What's he gonna talk about? How the budget took away the rollback?
Let's try
What else
Kirk.
could he talk about?
Is that all right?
Yeah,
All right.
All right.
that might be a little more informative, practical information.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Probably be good.
And we'll notify the township association too. that
Yeah,
we-
I'll email him today.
Yeah.
Kirk. Thank you.
Now, if Kirk Shearing just wants to come out for some reason to talk at any of the other meetings, he's welcome to.
Evidently he's running for election. Never mind.
But the budget situation just puts us in a predicament. I don't think representatives in Columbus really appreciate it or care about the predicament that we now face locally, funding the same services that our residents expect. I just don't think they, it's real easy in Columbus just to save a few tens of millions of dollars by just saying we're not going to fund it anymore. Done for yourselves. Okay. So maybe we should have him out. We could ask him about that, right?
he'd be able to work around that.
And he'll have some reason. Well, you see, it helps because it... All right. Well, that's enough rhetorical discussion on that. So Ed, you'll work on those arrangements then for October 17th? Okay, we have the independent contractor agreement with Ray Woods to serve as the litter control supervisor for the remainder of the year. These are the same terms as our
It's
current
the same
arrangement.
terms, right.
All right. I'll move that we approve that arrangement.
I'll second it.
Yes.
Mr. Woods is here this morning.
Next item, I'll move that we approve payment to Teachers Protective in the amount of $1,050.25 for life and disability insurance.
Second.
I'll move that we approve payment to Teachers Protective in the amount of $26,769.83 for medical insurance.
Yes.
Next item, I'll move that we approve a supplemental transfer in the amount of $400 from $1,220,599 other expenses to $1,110,221 medical to cover increased medical premiums.
Second.
Yes.
Move we open a purchase order to Shelley in the amount of $575 for stone for Station 2.
Right, and if I can speak to that one just for a real quick second, John. Is the first time we've already approved the job out at Station 2, which was estimated at $3,450. When we actually approved the last purchase order, we approved the purchase order for $3,050, go ahead and deducting his money in.
Oh, the
We actually-
400.
Yeah, so we actually need we already have a purchase order to Central for the $3,000. It won't take that much, but I need now to cover the stone. It's going to be covered with his 400, but we have to have that purchase order because we pay it first and his money comes into us.
That's fine. All right, Jill, next item is the State Auditor Bulletin and Bureau of Workers' Comp refund.
Yes, I received a bulletin just on Friday that they were, I guess a lot of people have been asking them what was to be done with the Bureau of Workers' Compensation rebate, where it was to go. A lot of people did do as we originally have it receipted into general. They've actually said because it is the type of funds coming back in and it was paid out to a federal program and coming back in as federal money, it needs to be reallocated proportionally back to where it came from.
Okay.
So,
Wherever you paid the premiums from?
yeah, and we pay the premiums both from general fire and road, so I'll sit down, I haven't had the time to figure those percentages out. So you'll see some changes in there. We'll go back into those areas as the receipt.
All right. Thank you. A few additional FYI items. The issues for November ballot have been assigned. Our police levy is issue 33, fire levy is issue 34.
Right, because all I have to do on those is approve the ballot language, if it's the same as what we submitted, and send it back.
Okay. We've received the quarter 2 2013 Independent Energy Consultants Electrical Aggregation Program Information. It does contain a breakdown of projected savings to residents who are within the program. And we have the meeting notice for the Stark County Township Association for September 19, which will be held at the Jackson Township Safety Center. Anything else, Ed or Mike, that's general township related?
I don't know.
I have nothing.
Move we approve the cash revenue and expenditure financial report for year-to-date submitted by the fiscal officer.
Second.
Yes.
Bills today are $49,013.19, and I move we authorize payment of the bills.
Second.
Yes.
Number of communication items we've received, catalogs and such. I'll move that we file that communication.
Second.
Yes.
Anybody have anything else for us before we wrap things up? Questions, comments, anything at all? All right.
How much does is that First Energy on the aggregation?
It is.
What do they say the residents save?
They provide a breakdown by month, and then they also do an aggregate on here.
Like each resident, or how do they do that?
Yeah, the average on residential saving on a monthly basis, they list somewhere between, just looking here, the lowest is around $270 a month, and the highest, just looking quickly, is about well, here's one that's $580.
It was either 4 or 6%.
Yeah.
That's only of the
Right.
generation
Right.
portion.
Is that just residential?
No, it's,
Are they including industrial and commercial?
It's small, remember it's that weird
it's small,
industry.
but yes.
like commercial and small, like, not large industrial.
No, the program was
include that.
only applicable to
Okay.
certain, and I don't know exactly what that cutoff is between small
I
and
just
large.
wondered, they say what, 5 something? I did okay, I guess.
And then, of course, they have a spreadsheet on what $4 or $5 a month means to you across the board.
Wow,
It's
it's
a-
a tip for your breakfast.
And I suppose it's better than nothing, but it is, it's a large figure in the aggregate. So for all of our residents, if you look at the collective buying power it saves, it does serve that function.
And the township got some money when we initially signed up for it, which we used, I think, in our paving program. So that was a little bit of an...
Incentive,
Right.
no wine or anything.
Well, since that deregulation of electric, I know that I've had 4 or 5 companies
Oh, it's a nuisance.
notify me that they're
Yeah.
going to give me a rate. I don't know how you'd ever figure these things out, you know, it's getting any more.
Complicated. I worked in the regulated side of the regulation, but I'm getting really tired of Columbia, or whichever one, East Ohio. I tell them over and over, I don't have a line, I don't want to.
Oh, yeah.
They don't care. They just keep pestering.
Well, then the gas, if you have natural gas, why then, of course, they have 4
Right.
or 5 people there.
Right.
Marge, it's not usually Columbia Gas or
It's
East
East
Ohio
It's
that's
those-
notifying you. It's the other companies, and because you have an Alliance mailing address,
Well,
they
yeah.
assume you have gas,
They'd
so.
be sloppy. They just, they wouldn't
Yeah.
spend
But it's not
money.
the companies themselves, it's the intermediate companies that want part of the business that are contacting you.
Well, the newest thing now, I got one the other day that
It says the minute.
they want me to sign up, they'll send me a $50 gift card for somebody. That's the newest thing.
And then charge a double for your rate.
All right, there's nothing else under our regular agenda items. We do have 2 personnel issues to address in executive session. Under 121.22G, I'll move that we convene an executive session to discuss personnel items, including hiring and benefits issues.
Second.
Yeah.
All right, we'll stand in recess for a couple minutes. Thanks, everybody.
You'll be here Thursday? Okay, I will not. Darlene will be, my son is over at Stark County Fair, so I'll be over